All right, Chelsea fans, welcome back to our month in review podcast. That's right, Nick's still wearing the same mustache as before. I think he's going to stick with it, actually.
Would have been tough to do another one 30 minutes after the last recording, but
it's true.
Here we are.
We're batch recording today on this Sunday. But like I said, we've got the October awards, and we're also going to have a little chat with Louis Benevente and talk about our partnership with Imperial Wharf. So we just figured we just let him hang out for the entire episode. So Dan, Nick, myself, here with Louis, going to be chatting about a lot of stuff. So, sir, we are excited to have you on. It's been a little bit.
It has. I'm excited to be here as well. I love hanging out with you guys. You know, it's always fun, especially when Nick looks like a World War II veteran. You know, we can always appreciate that as well.
Oh my God! Before we jumped on, and I was like not paying attention. Louis got onto the Zoom and just started rattling off his like documentary World War II voiceover, and it killed me. It was the funniest thing in the world. Give us a little taste, Louis, if you can.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the London is Blue podcast, episode 500. Here is the episode cast of Brandon Busby, Dan Dormer, and Nicholas Villaney, off to get into the 500th episode of the podcast. Here we find our October month in review, and we talk a little bit about a football club. Oh yes, it's a great time to be alive. Over to you now, Brandon Busby.
Yeah, this is we're definitely going to hear from Don Mario on that one, but it's going to be great. So anyways, we have a lot to talk about in this one. And one of the things we want to start off with, Nick, is we crossed this wild threshold of 500 episodes. We did it in the month of October, which is why we're finally taking a breather to acknowledge what had happened. And then, like I said, so 500. Wow. Holy smokes. This is our 7th season.
Yeah, it was a little bit anticlimactic, to be honest, because we had made such a big deal out of 400, and we were like, man, can you guys imagine 500? And then like 6 months later, we're here, and there's so much content that we went through the schedule a couple weeks ago, and we were like, where the hell are we going to fit this thing in? We're doing like a podcast a day right now. Like, it's bananas. So 500 is a ridiculous milestone. We never thought we would make 500 episodes happen, and the fact that it's been so fast and furious this season, we just wanted to take a quick minute, a little self-aggrandizement, and just enjoy it because Dan, 500 has come quickly for a reason, if as you noted in your tweet.
Well, we've been on a pretty breakneck pace, and I think, look, there's been a lot of bad things that have happened this year. But, with an ability to stay at home and maybe stay indoors a little bit more than previous, we have found a way to keep ourselves relatively sane, relatively speaking, by getting to chat about Chelsea on a more regular cadence than we have previously. And we averaged from early February to now a pod almost every 2.58 days. So pretty breakneck little clip there.
And it would be because we don't publish on weekends really. So then if you take it the weekday, now you're like probably pushing 4, or like a pod like closer to every day, I guess, 4 a week. So it's been wild. It's been a lot of fun. Obviously it's not just us on our own, doing this. We want to take a moment to celebrate this achievement and say a massive thank you to many of the people who helped us reach the milestone. So I'll kick it off with Jake. Who's our faithful editor who stays up late at night and gets it out, from a Sunday so everyone's ready on a Monday morning, stays up late during the week after the Champions League because we usually don't record till 8 o'clock Central, and then he gets it all done for the next day. And then we've added Bruce, who's been doing our videos and graphics as well. Those are the two that I spend the most time with and are just massively grateful for you guys helping take what we spew into these microphones and making it into something that's enjoyable for people on the other side. So a huge thank you to you two. Dan, you have a few people you want to name?
Well, I think we've got some pretty regular contributors now to the show that really expanded, I think, where we go with our content. We've are kicking off the new series with Joe Tweeds, who's been a pretty reliable guest over the years. Probably our most capped guest at this point on the podcast. Though I know Louis is going to try to challenge him here in the future. Phil, Chelsea Youth, is also contributing on a more regular cadence with us now this season. And then, Matt and Naz, Matt Law and Nizar Kinsella of the Daily Telegraph and of Goal.com, respectively. Just our kind of triumvirate, quad, four Fantastic Four that we've got going on here, who are really helping us up level the content too, which we know people have appreciated.
Yeah, and I would just make a note of the community that we built over the last 6.5 years. Like, it's been a slow burn. You don't see crazy Twitter follower growth, or you don't see a whole lot of like some of the dramatic KPIs that people put a lot of stock in. It's been a slow burn. We've had to earn a lot of trust over the years because we're American and because we were kind of new to the landscape in 2014. And I think just the consistency has meant that we picked up some people who were maybe skeptical at first, and that's pretty great. But our community is the best part of doing this. Like, it's not lip service that we're paying. Like, genuinely thoughtful, funny, generous. We've done a ton of fundraisers this year, and people are hurting, and we know that it's not easy to give when you're kind of worried about your own security, and people have given anyway. It is shocking to understand how great people are in the midst of all the shit that's going on. And we would not have this. We would not be as energized to do this without you. And that extends to a community that I don't even participate in very much as a host of the show, Brandon, and that is our Discord Patreon community.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's well over a couple hundred people now. And the Match Day Madness thread is wild. We have, just a ton of engagement and activity, around the clock, because we have people from all over the world in there. And so that's been really cool to kind of see really take off, from last year and continued this year. So again, just a special shout out for those people, because we end up getting to spend more time with them than maybe some of the rest of the community, but it just doubles down on the whole idea of a community. And Dan, I can't believe you've read this many 5-star reviews in that podcast store.
Yeah, 1,400. That is quite the number of 5-star reviews that we've seen over the years. And, occasionally a 1-star, mostly because of Nick. But ultimately those have
I gave my 1-star
suppressed. Have gotten suppressed by the overwhelming support and affection I think everybody has been willing to share and take a moment to do so. So thank you for those.
And Dan's only butchered like 44% of those names, so I mean,
know
we're on a really good path. With
expected butchering, I'm actually below it. Typically you expect a butchering of around 55%. So if I'm 44, I'm actually doing a really good job.
Just like Chelsea's defensive record, Dan's getting better every game here. I will also we have to make note of the club who's been kind enough to trust us and let us do a handful of interviews over the years. I think at this point we've interviewed 15 current or former players since we started, which is not insignificant, and we know that hopefully there are more to come this year as well. So just a massive shout out. They've been extraordinarily kind to us when we've been able to travel to London to do our thing, and we'd be remiss without kind of giving them a ton of credit for letting us in.
Yeah, and then kind of lastly, but definitely not least, Lee, because that's a word. Just everyone that's been on the show, right? Obviously, we've got Louis on today. So you're in this group. We've had journalists, season ticket holders, fans internationally from America, content creators if they want to put themselves in that bucket. But no, I think we're just so grateful for everyone that's joined us from here, near, and far, and contributed to it, because we say it, we don't know everything. We want different perspectives, want to get different ideas, and thankfully we've had an amazing group to kind of call on in different situations for that. So with that being said, Nick, we want to give back to said community.
One final shout out, Dane, we missed you on 400 and we're giving you a single person shout out on 500. We know you're going to listen to this, and we love you. So there you go.
And Dan,
all right.
because you got that and I didn't, I will find you and I will kill you. Just saying, I'm going to find you.
Wow, it's a taken moment. I don't know who you are.
Liam
But
Neeson
I've got
over
a particular
here.
set of skills. I'll make you laugh to death with my voiceover of World War II.
No, just sit there and poke. Hey, Dave. Hey, Dave.
Hey.
Leave me alone. Okay, bye.
All right, so we're doing a little celebration because again, this is all in service of saying thank you, and we want to celebrate everybody who's helped us reach this ridiculous achievement. We want to encourage our followers and listeners, whether it's through voice or tweet, or you send us a DM on Facebook or Instagram, whatever it is. Send us an email if you want. Contact at londonisbluepodcast.com. Whatever way you want to get in touch with us. Send us a message with your favorite moment, episode, or catchphrase, whatever kind of memory kind of comes to mind over the last 6 years. If you do include a tweet, include the hashtag LIBP500. That would be super helpful so that we can track it. And we are going to give away 5 Nike Vapor kits, color, so home, third, or away, and player of your choice for the best answers that go along. These are quite pricey, but we're doing it because they're a delight. We have some ourselves, and we know how nice the fit is. And yeah, we just want to say thank you. We're going to do more of this stuff throughout the year. This is not the only time we're going to have the chance for our fans to win some stuff. But we just thought 500, nice little symmetry and numbers there. So again, send us a message, and we'll give us like a week to run and make it happen. So hopefully by international break weekend, we'll have something to talk about.
Very, very appreciative of you all. So let's go ahead and move over to October, the month in review. So just to give you a little reminder of how it went, we started off smashing Crystal Palace 4-0, and then we had to come back to draw with Southampton. And then we started Champions League and drew 0-0 at home to Sevilla. Then drew 0-0 away at Manchester United, which, based on last year's results, was a massive improvement. We went on the road to Russia, to Mother Russia, and beat Krasnodar 4-0. And then we just wrapped up with a match this past weekend on Halloween, beating Burnley away at Turf Moor 3-0. So, I feel like I need to get you in, Louis. We were talking about our own thing for a while there.
Yeah, God, so selfish. Can't believe
I know,
it.
you're very patient. We usually kick this off with our favorite match of the month. So you've got 6 to choose from. Which one is your favorite?
I think, the Burnley game, and I'm not just saying it because it's the most recent one, I think it's the game when you watch it, I feel that it kind of actually came together. Now, I know Burnley for Chelsea over the past few years has been a very, I don't want to say easy, but it's been a ground where we're pretty much safely guaranteed points. And I think we expect the result. But I think in the fashion we did, especially with some that get a lot of hate, Mason Mount especially, or players, that hadn't really quite delivered yet. For example, Hakim Ziyech kind of came through and really shone, and kind of showed that it was slowly coming together. And obviously Zuma scored an absolutely amazing header, which Alan Partridge's commentary would be proud of. I think that's my favourite game. That, and then obviously you get Krasnodar as a close second. Again, not because they're back to back, just because again it was getting 3 points on the board in the Champions League as well.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I tried to say Palace, but the more I think about it, I'm just like, not really. We had 2 pens. It wasn't really our lineup. When you talk about Burnley and kind of seeing what is hopefully a much closer version to the settled team and everything, you're right. It does give me a lot more hope for the future. I know, Dan, you obviously said Burnley too, but maybe you got some different reasons.
No, it's the same reasons. It's the fact that it's the culmination of building out from the back and trying to build off of strong defensive performances. So, the holding Sevilla to 0-0, keeping Man United out, getting to a point where we scored in fair measure against Krasnodar, and then managed to keep a clean sheet there too. All really good stuff. And so I think this was the game where it didn't start off super great, but it ended the way the second half was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I think it's hard to look past the Burnley result.
That's fair. Nick with the late write-in, very interesting.
Yeah. So I picked the Man United result, which I think is going to shock people because it was a really difficult game and not exciting to watch. But if you think about the context of that game, we had just given up 3 goals to Southampton. We're thinking about, is this team ever going to really get it together defensively, right? Capitulated, in a bad way multiple times early in the season. Then you go on the road in a game that you really, if you're Lampard, you can't lose, because, you can't lose to Ole again. And you pull off a really, really stout defensive performance. You could argue that Man United had the better of the chances in the game, and you'd probably be right. But I think it's an important performance to just get out of that with a draw and keep moving, and then understand that we have some really winnable matches coming up. So I'm going to pick that as the most important result of the entire month, with Krasnodar being second most important because of just where we were in the table.
So that United result was when Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank was on Sky, I believe.
Yeah.
And he said, if Chelsea go on and win the next 5, this will be vindicated. Now, we have gone on to win the next 2, and it's progress, right? And I think that was his point. His point was sometimes you have to take a step back to be able to take many steps forward. And that's what he was arguing with Patrice Evra, who was just losing his mind at how bad United are. But hey, that's kind of on him. So I do want to, I guess, what we'll do is we'll take a quick break. We're going to continue with the October awards doing the 3-month word review. 3-word month review. It doesn't fit. It doesn't flow. 3-word review of the month. And obviously a lot more that we're going to get into with the rest of the awards. So thanks to the sponsors for financially supporting the show, and we'll be right back. All right, so here it is. A 3-word review that happens to be about a month. All right, and the month was October. So
that flows even less, Brandon.
Look, there's no way to not trip over
There's no
that.
flow with Brandon Busby's game
I
here.
just took the long way around it and just avoided it completely. So, Dan, you got some help from Phil over at Chelsea Youth, huh?
Well, this one I think was really more. It was he tweeted, "You're welcome, Brandon."
It's true.
Because this is the second tweet to it, but he went with Edouard F. Mendy, and that was it. That was the tweet.
We'll get into some of that, but yes, I appreciate it because he was offering support for the GK Union, which we always appreciate and deal with. But we had some other ones, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Caden with bad, better, at best. We had Kieran with keep it up. Harish with Mourinho is proud. Danny Schmidt with what is Lampard ball? ? Nick Dory with Mendy, our savior, and then Tana with a very good finding our balance. So not as much playfulness with the month in review, but again, this is a newer one. We're going to step it up next month, I'm sure.
Look, it's trickier. A lot more to go in there. Hirsch with the Mourinho's proud is interesting, but I kind of get where he's coming from. Nick, what did you have for yours?
Back to front. So multiple meanings in this, but I think the 2 steps backward, to go 1 step or 2 steps forward, I think is right. The solidity that you build up with the same back line or a similar back line and a goalkeeper that's healthy has made a world of difference. And then finding the balance that I think we found against Krasnodar in parts, and then certainly against Burnley, is massive for this team moving forward. It doesn't mean that all these players are going to be healthy at the same time. It doesn't mean that every result's going to go our way, but there seems to be a better methodology now for how the ball is moved upfield and how our back line is communicating and all that stuff. And I think it just makes a massive, massive difference. So back to front.
I get it. Definitely makes a lot of sense. Dan, over to you.
Flip the script. So we were conceding goals. We were all offense and no defense. And we have found a way to completely reverse that. And actually, I think Nick pointed to build back into a situation where we not only can keep a clean sheet, but we can score as well. So, Lampard was getting the criticisms. Mason Mount was getting the criticisms. We end the month with Lampard's figured it out. Mason Mount so great as a midfielder. It's every storyline that was kind of coming into the month of October has been. I mean, if you were writing the paper starting off with the month of October and you're going to go to the end, you have to rip it up and start all over again, because this is it's a new look Chelsea.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think, Louis, you're continuing in on that kind of idea and thought process.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of my big concerns coming into the season was fully down to the amount of players we signed and how quickly they would gel. And as the season's gone on, we've obviously seen players coming in and out of the squad. We've seen Lampard kind of struggle with that front five almost of players and who he's going to select. But now it seems he's kind of settled. He's found what he wants and he's found a winning formula. And I've put it's coming together because there's no guarantee that it has. Because as we've seen, Chelsea can. This month especially, Chelsea can have a bit of a one good week and one bad week, which was very much the story of last year as well. So, I mean, if you're looking at the back end, beating Krasnodar, which, by the way, I think that the scoreline I felt was very flattering. I think that Krasnodar were a very, very good side. And I think that scoreline to them does look very unfair, but I don't care because we scored 4 goals, so whatever. But I think that, that result and the Burnley game kind of showed Chelsea's capabilities and how deadly our front line can be, and also how important Edouard Mendy was at the back. That was a big signing. If Christoph Lolochon scouts him, if Petr Cech believes in him, then I back them to make the right decision, and it seems to be working out very well. As does the signing of a 36-year-old centre back, which I think a lot of people doubted, but he's proven his class and proven his mettle in the Premier League after a few dodgy games, and especially the game against West Brom. He's come in and he's been remarkably solid. So I think it's slowly but surely coming together. We'll have to see what it happens game by game, month by month. But I'm happy this month.
Yeah, no, I know. I agree. I put cleaning the sheets because obviously we had 5 clean sheets out of 6 matches, which is pretty good.
And
but
those
I think
sheets were dirty after September, baby. Oh, boy.
Wow.
Rough month. Rough month for Brandon.
Had to get rid of the bed bugs.
Anyways, okay. Let's stick to the clean sheet that we know of in the football world. But I think, your guys especially talks about an evolution, a process, a growth throughout this month. And I think that's definitely what, is the definite overall theme to October for sure. The next one we have up is our Player of the Month award. So this would be the second one of the season. Last month was Zuma. You could have had a bunch of different people there. Werner's had a good month. Mendy, obviously, Chilwell coming on and kind of making his name known in the Chelsea team, and Thiago Silva, that 36-year-old center back you're just talking about. So we're split 50-50. So Nick, you and I had Mendy, Dan and Louis had Timo Werner. I did have Timo. I switched to Mendy in hindsight. Why did you have Edouard Mendy as your Player of the Month?
Yeah, I mean, lots of competition here, right? But I think if the theme of your month is defensive solidity and figuring out the 5 out of 6 matches having a clean sheet, and the only one that Mendy didn't play was the one where we let in a bunch of goals. I think that has to kind of factor into it, right? It's not that he's the only player that helped those clean sheets happen. It's that he's so clearly our number one, and I think to me the addition of him means that there are a lot of other pieces that can kind of move around the board more freely. So I think he's my Player of the Month, and I'm really excited for what he can bring to this team throughout the season.
Yeah, that was kind of a little bit for me too. Just it is the biggest change in the team, so therefore I felt like it is a credit because, like you said, when he doesn't play, we see a huge fall off. Obviously, to your two gentlemen's points, not having Timo Werner doesn't mean we can't score, but obviously having Timo Werner makes it a hell of a lot easier, Louis.
It does. He's played superb this month. Obviously, what looked like a slow start in terms of his goal scoring record at Chelsea. He's kind of rectified that. I think he scored one of my favourite goals I've seen in a very long time when he went round the Southampton keeper and nodded it in. But having said that, and having heard Nick's point on Edouard Mendy, I am going to have to submit and agree that Edouard Mendy probably is the player of the month. And also he's got big arms. So if it comes to, saying that to his face, he won't hit me because his reach is a lot longer. So, I will concede. But, Werner has been superb. And it's hard. I don't like selecting. Yeah. I think it's a very difficult one. But, you can make
a hell of a lot of case for Chilwell too. Like I mean, Chilwell's been amazing this month and really played well. I think is a huge part of the clean sheets too, Dan. I mean, like it's hard to pick a single person when the results have been pretty solid.
Well, I think we look back to last month with Zuma taking the award. It was the sense of that the results were mixed, and Zuma was like the best of actually kind of maybe some bad situations because our attackers weren't finding the back of the net. Our midfield composition was awkward. We were rotating through center back pairings, and right back and left back were changing, and Kepa had some starts. And so this month, having the option of saying it could be Timo Werner because what he has been able to do and how he's been enable us to go out and score, a fantastic brace, and the goal that Len Louis was talking about versus Southampton. We talk about the fact that Chilwell has come in and shown the value of what it means to be a Premier League player and why you pay maybe a little bit extra versus buying, a continental player who is, 20, 30, million maybe cheaper, but takes time to get up to speed. And, Silva plays a big part in the defense as well. I mean, I was split. I could have gone with Mendy and have no problem that Mendy is our guy for the month. I think Timo has done a lot too, but I mean, some of the saves that Mendy made were really, really top drawer, and what he does and how he impacts everything else is pretty important. He adds so much solidity, so much calm in the back, and I think people will tweet at us or talk at us during the match, and they'll be like, I feel so much better on a cross now, on a free kick now. Like I don't have this overwhelming sense of dread. And like that alone is such a wonderful effect, Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're not gonna have to ask me to praise a goalkeeper more than once when they do something right. So I won't necessarily drag that on. But on the flip side, goal of the month, right? So this is always fun, especially when we've had some, right? We've gotten some goals to choose from this month. Okay, interesting. So, Dan, I'll go back to you right away. You have one from the Southampton 3-3 draw.
Yeah, Timo's first Premier League goal for the club where he dummied himself and allowed the ball to roll past. And he had to work really hard for that goal. I think when you watch it at full speed, you're like, oh, okay, he's super fast and he was able to make space, no issue. But he pulls 4 defenders and then shoots across goal left as the keeper and everybody else is going right, and had to do a lot of work for it. And so, to me, that was my favorite goal of the month. Very, very easily.
Yeah, that was like one of our first times getting to see his speed into space, and it was super enjoyable. Nick, recency bias, but I like this one. I thought about it.
Yeah, I love a good header, and there's been no better headers scored at Chelsea over the last couple of seasons than what Zuma just did against Burnley. I mean, it's exactly what you expect a center back header to be. Just pure power, bullet right past the guy on the far post. I'm really happy for Zuma on that header too, because I know he's missed his fair share, and that to me is like, it's a way to come back and be better, and kind of show your class. Plus, he has 3 goals already this season. We miss Gary Cahill because he added something from a goal scoring perspective to the team when he was playing regularly at Chelsea. And so if Zuma can get 6-7 goals this season, I mean, that's massive output from a center back. So really happy for him, and that goal was outstanding. It's my picture perfect center back header goal.
Yeah, it definitely was. All right, Louis, over to you, sir.
Yeah, I agree with Nick. That was a great goal. Just like it was just the perfect. Those fill me with so much joy. But the technical ability. I mean, we've already spoken about his first goal, Timo Werner, but the technical ability for that second goal where he gets the ball and he just flicks it over the keeper's head and he just keeps running and he just lets it land on his head. He doesn't do anything and he just nods it into the back of the net. It was so calm. It was clinical. It was an assassin's goal. Okay, it's one that should be in the Hitman series. That's something which they should base the next game on. It was ridiculous. I saw that and I was like, fair enough. I like that. That's been one of my favourite goals at Chelsea for a very, very long time. And yeah, that's my goal of the month personally. I loved it. It was beautiful.
Right.
The most technically gifted goal for sure. I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
Anticipated it, got his run in, saw the keeper coming out. You know, he had a lot to deal with, obviously, in a short amount of time and got it done. So, yeah, kudos to Timo on that one. I went with the Ziyech goal versus Burnley. I enjoyed the team play aspect of it. Maybe not like the best goal. You know, he got very lucky that he pulled it through a couple players' legs, and you know Pope didn't really do much about it. But you know, again, getting the ball out wide, finding feet inside the box, able to have Tammy lay it off, and you know have that chemistry and the build up that we had over and over in Burnley. Honestly. It's just I just really appreciated, like I said, so many people involved in kind of the unselfish play that just led to it, you know, and that doesn't always happen. A striker in the box with the ball, they probably want to turn, get a shot off themselves. You know, that's why we pay them, is to score. But Tammy is very selfless, you know, and I'm really loving this kind of team first mentality that Frank is building within the group. And that was just kind of a product of it. So, yeah.
I actually don't write it down to luck as much. If you go back and watch it, he puts a really, really silky smooth curl on that too. And, you know, I do think Pope got cemented in place. It just seemed like he didn't want to move at all as we watched the game yesterday. But Ziyech definitely has some sauce that he put on that one. And I think that also caused a little bit of confusion too. I didn't think Pope thought it was going to go that way.
Well, yeah, that is true. Yeah, you think that Arjen Robben on the left foot, Bennett in the back post. So, but yeah, it was well done. Okay, well, last one up here is Surprise of the Month, which is an interesting topic for us to have because we can kind of pull a lot of different things out. But it's, hey, what were you not expecting to see this month based on what we've already seen this season? And it was a clean sweep from all of us. So it was all about defensive solidity, the clean sheets. If anything, I guess, Dan, you have a secondary surprise within that defensive kind of alignment.
Well, because we all talked about the fact that we saw 5 clean sheets from all competitions, I had to come up with what was another thing that was surprising. And I think Rudiger finding his way back into a starting lineup over Fikayo Tomori is a super interesting one. You know, we get all the club pieces around Fikayo staying and the fact that he pulled the deadline day. I'm not going to go to West Ham. I'm going to stay and fight for my position here. But now Rudiger is the one who makes it back into a starting lineup. That is one that I think we're still going to track. There's still going to be lots of questions about it until we see Fikayo play again this season. I mean, obviously being out of the League Cup gives us, you know, less fixtures where we might play around. I mean, we clearly have a first choice pairing in Silva and Zuma at the moment. And what we've been asking for is for Frank to rotate that, to build a solid back line and stick with it. So then, you know, Rudiger, Christensen, and Tomori are all the you know, unfortunately the victims of that, which is okay because we do want that solid back line. But Rudiger making the return ahead of Christensen, who seemed favored at one point, and particularly Fikayo, who was decided to stay and fight for the position. That to me is going to be a story that I'm just going to continue to track and going to have questions about until we see him play again.
Yeah, I think another like individual surprise, obviously Petr Cech being signed to the Premier League squad.
Yeah, baby.
What in the world was that?
I mean, apparently for the month of September, he was the best goalkeeper in training, which is like, you know, I know it's easy to joke about, but like, if that's the case, then if you're Frank and you're looking at what's going on and he's able to be registered as a player in a extremely dire circumstance, right? Like, you would have to do it. And I think the more than anything, that is just a morale boost to the team type of thing to do. To bring in a guy that is training every day anyway. It's not like you're just bringing him off the street. He's there. He's doing the business. I think it's a morale thing, and obviously Mendy is the guy now, so it's not going to make that big of a difference. But I had the formations as my maybe wrinkle on the clean sheet deal. I mean, 5 out of 6 matches in October being clean sheets is crazy. I mean, it's you gave up 3 goals all month, which is amazing. So I'm going to go 3 different formations. Obviously Frank started with the 4-2-3-1. That was interesting. Not our favorite formation by any means. Then went 3 back against United, which is a callback to the performances we put in last year in clutch situations, and I think it was warranted. And then evolving it into the 4-3-3 that was so dominant against Burnley. I think, Louis, that to me just shows that this team is flexible, but I think the 4-3-3 is the way we'd like to see it moving forward.
Absolutely. I think that like I said, that was the game where it all came together, and you don't fix what's not broken. And I think that the way we played, the way the game flowed, the flexibility that was shown in the side to be able to do whatever they needed to do to get the result as well. I'm thrilled by that. I'm happy. So, I'd say the 4-3-3 it's the baby now. It's the bad boy. It's your secret weapon. I'd say that's the one we stick with, and that's the one we go with. I wouldn't mind switching to a 3 back. Like, for example, I understood why Frank did it against United, but because when we played a 4 at the back against them, we just got torn apart. But I think that it's a case of it was great to have a clean sheet against United, but it did look like a performance where we were just scared to do anything. And it was just a case of damage limitation from both sides, and no one really had the final edge. Whereas in again, I know it's Burnley. In the game against Burnley, we were it just looks so fluid. It looks so clean. The way we moved off the ball, just everything was picture perfect for me. And I think that is a formation which we should be sticking with now.
I think the 3 back is going to be our rotational formation moving forward. You can fit a lot of pieces into that maybe don't get regular playing time. Your Alonsos, your Emersons, your Tamoris, your Rudigers, without risking too much. It's a decent formation for Kovacic. We've seen him play well in a 3 back. And it's a really good formation for Giroud as well. We've seen some of our better performances last year from him when he's able to hold the ball up and bring wingbacks and attacking players forward as well. So I think when everyone needs a rest, or our starting 11 needs a rest, that's a really good formation to fit some puzzle pieces together.
100%.
No, that's a good call. All right, so the last thing we want to touch on in this episode, obviously the main reason why we brought Louis on, is to talk about Imperial Wharf. So in case you missed it, we are sponsoring a football club, so there's that. Louis, you, I guess, are the chairman ? Of Imperial Wharf?
Manager.
I'm chairman, manager, head of scouting, head of esports, head of merchandise sales. Actually, no, we actually have a kit man. Ironically, he's amazing. Kit me, he's the bloke. So obviously, I'm more active than Nick in the Discord. And also I whacked in the.
You really are.
I whacked in the. I see
really
Nick.
That's not a lie.
It's literally the word. The first thing I see Nick put in the Discord is, "Sorry guys, I'm not here very often, but this is awesome." I'm there like, cool, brilliant. At least it's not somewhere else where I need to talk to Nick. He's somewhere else where I just have to keep it concise. But yeah, we actually got a guy, Kitman Benj. He's a Crystal Palace fan, unfortunately, but he's got these. He does all our kits. He's brilliant. There's literally, if you watch the videos, there's a bloke who just says the most random, amazing things. I'm sure, have you guys seen him already? He just stands there and just says something completely out of the blue. Like, yes, last week we were playing a game and there was a bloke who was there in white and he had just mud all down the front of his shirt. And we just stood there watching, all very intense, very serious. And he stands there, he goes, "Doesn't he look like the bloke at the Purcell advert?" And we just sat there just going, "What are you talking about?" It's like out of nowhere. But yeah, no, I am, to keep it concise, and I was going to ramble there. I am indeed the chairman. Yes, chairman, owner extraordinaire, just all around great guy, if I'm honest.
Exactly. So, just to clarify real quick, so we're the sleeve sponsor, which we'll leave it at that, because we've had some funny conversations around it. So we're obviously not the primary sponsor, and that's okay. We're dipping our toes in the water here. So tell us, who is Imperial Wharf? What is Imperial Wharf? Where are you guys playing? I mean, this is all related to the football pyramid, kind of. Just give us the debrief real quick. What is an Imperial Wharf?
What even is it, Louis?
So it's a football club. We've just clarified that. There's 11 blokes that run on the pitch for 90 minutes every week. So there's that. But I think, as a club, I kind of, obviously I did 100% Chelsea, and I kind of wanted a new challenge. And I set out with a couple of mates. One of them was George Akelia. The other one was a friend from uni. They've gone on to do their own stuff now. They're doing amazingly. And we kind of just wanted to do something where we can shine a light on footballing talent, but also, reciprocate some of the amazing football culture that, as people. But the plan is from there, sort of, we build a body of content, and then we're going straight into the pyramid. We've already had conversations, and the plan is just to work our way up, really.
Can you explain the pyramid to our listeners who maybe don't know as much about the footballing pyramid?
Illuminati, right? That's
Illuminati.
Basically, yes, that's the Illuminati. Apparently Siri likes the Illuminati.
Well, that's uncomfortable.
Getting a little too close to home there for Siri.
I don't like that. He's like, stop listening. So you kind of got 10 steps, I believe it is. So obviously at the very top, you've got the Premier League. Then you have the Championship, League One, League Two. And then from there it goes into what is non-league. So League Two, all your players have to be paid. They have to be professional. And it goes from there. Then you've got the conference. Then it splits into North and South. And then from there it goes, I'm still learning. It goes Ryman, I believe, or Isthmian. Then it goes Bostik. Then it goes it all becomes regional. So where we'd be going, when we go into the Premier properly next year, will be the Wimbledon District League, which is also the same division which AFC Wimbledon started in. So we kind of like trying to really do the full zero to hero journey, and it's awesome. I've really enjoyed it, especially this season. I've not enjoyed the rain and the wind as much as I thought I might. But I'm not going to stand under an umbrella. I'm no Steve McLaren. So, we've got that, and we've got some amazing volunteers, some amazing people involved. And without them, the club wouldn't run. Very simply, there's Prana, who's a club secretary. She's one of the only people who, when I'm doing something stupid, she can actually tell me to stop doing it. So that's kind of why she's there. So if I start doing something, she kind of like, she has the authority to backhand me. That's actually something which somehow I let all the staff agree was a thing. But yeah, so there's that. You got obviously Benj already mentioned. Steve I've known for like years. He's like a fantastic. Well, he's the same age as me, but he's got this air about him, and he's a fantastic coach, and he really keeps people ticking. And Nico, which obviously I don't know if you guys remember from 100% Chelsea. And the Chelsea Echo podcast I do, he's our fitness coach, and he's good as well. He used to train John Jones in Muay Thai, which is I thought was pretty cool. Oh. So he's on it. But yeah, it's basically the whole idea of the club is, for me, I put it out on Twitter the other days. I don't want it to become people's second club. That's not fair. But I want it to almost be like, I want people to feel welcome. It's a family club where anybody can come and anyone can create something and create an atmosphere. We had a few guys from my old uni wanting to come down with pyro and stuff like that and just create an atmosphere and do really cool stuff like that. And we just want people. The beauty of it is it's not a YouTube football team. I don't want people to think it's just, obviously that's how it started. I wanted to have a YouTube football team, but for me, it's so much more. It just happens to be a football club that happens to have a good presence online. And, we want people to feel like they can, obviously, while Chelsea aren't playing, for example, you can't be in the stadium. We want you to feel like you can come watch us and engage and enjoy just a bit of football, get out there and enjoy a bit, which is, the experience which a lot of people have said to us. They've just said they've enjoyed being able to watch live football. And we want people to feel like they can come and be part of the journey. And, that's why I'm so grateful that you guys, got in contact with me, Brandon, sort of saying, like, right, what do we do? How do we do this? And it's just, it's something which I'm really enjoying, and it's awesome. And yeah, I think that's not much of an elevator pitch, because we would have gone up about 123 stories at that point. But, that's kind of the ins and outs of what it is.
All right. Talk quickly about where do you guys play?
Okay.
It's give us a little bit of context there, and then pick out a player that, as we're watching the YouTube clips, that you want us to hone in on and give a hard time to, because we can certainly a hard time.
Wow. We got to support this club. Come on now.
No,
What's this? Imperial Wharf fan TV? What's going on here? He's got to go, Louis.
He was rubbish the last game. We need to get him out.
Just run it through the media like Mourinho, man. There you go.
Just sit there, just wave me hand like that. I actually did that to the ref the other day. That was embarrassing. I nearly got sent off for that. He didn't like it. I tried it.
That would have been good content.
I was like, ref, no. So don't do that to me. I'll send you off. I'm sorry. Just some really angry bloke on Hackney Marshes. Don't want to mess with that.
So you play at Hackney Marshes, yeah?
No, we don't. That was our away game. We actually haven't had a home game yet, unfortunately. And obviously with the lockdown, we don't know when that will be. But we're playing in West London. Unfortunately, there are no actual 11-a-side pitches that are good, that are close to Stamford Bridge. That was kind of the plan. Because the Imperial Wharf, for people that don't know, is literally a station 2 minutes down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we play in Shepherd's Bush for my sins. Obviously, quite near to QPR. And it's just a standard grass pitch currently. Dream is obviously to move to a stadium and all that stuff long term. But we're playing in West London currently. That's our home ground, and we train on Thursday nights. And if people want to come down, get involved in any way, shape, or form. I mean, anyway, if someone thinks they're good enough to put the boots on because they were trialing at, I don't know, Charlton to the under-8s, but then they had a knee injury and that ended their career, come down and give it a go. But obviously we've got media, we've got stuff. If you want to run a tea hut, just tell me and you can have it. It's one of those where we just want people to come and engage and feel that everyone's welcome. And it's not just a call to arms of just come down and watch, just kind of, come. The beauty of, I feel, of the club right now is because it's so young, anybody can leave their own mark on it. And that's what I really appreciate. I mean, it's molding all the time. There's a track which we're going down, but I like the little offshoots. I like all the stuff which people are bringing to it. But yeah, it's great. So
I think some people might be a little confused about why we wanted to jump into something like this. And so what I would say is that is majority of our audience are international fans. We hear about the footballing pyramid. We hear about non-league football. We hear about Saturday leagues, Sunday leagues. But this was a great way for us to tie ourselves to a friend, to a Chelsea affiliated, group of people as well. And use this as a way for us to follow them, learn, get to see it at a different level. I mean, when we go, we've been to a championship match. It was Fulham, so whatever. But we want to go to some non-league. We want to see League One. We're just trying to immerse ourselves in kind of this amazing culture that exists there. Because in America, we have franchises, right? And it's a very different thing. So it's just a perfect way for us to link up and support him and the team and use it as a way for us to continue to learn about the game from top to bottom in England. So, essentially a lot of the money goes to essentially the operating costs of the club. And we're going to do some cool stuff in the future as well that we've talked about with Louis. So we're just waiting to get some more fun ways to connect. But for those listening that want to connect right away, check them out on social. And we'll go from there. We're going to be doing some kit giveaways of Imperial Wharf kits, which is really exciting. And speaking of the kit, that was also very Chelsea influenced as well, right? Obviously, you're going to be biased with everything you do for this club to be, Chelsea related.
I mean, it kind of, when we started, so obviously George is a Tottenham fan and Matty was an Everton fan. And I was kind of there going, I obviously was very much down the track that it was blue. Because how the club actually came about was the summer before. AFTV asked me, can you get 12 blokes together, Chelsea fans, and get a game sorted? That never happened. They bottled it. But it's a case of that came about, and then we came together, and then the rule was there was no red allowed on the kit whatsoever, none. So it was a case which was very much down the track of, okay, well, Louis is a Chelsea fan, Matty's an Everton fan, let's just go with blue. Like I say, they've moved on and stuff, and then we've got the kit it's lovely. I can't say anything else at the minute. I've been told I have to stay quiet. Obviously, you guys have seen it already, kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I mean? But it's lovely. The away kit's lovely as well. It's quite cool. It's very Chelsea orientated. The away kit, however, is a little play on something else. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It's a fun little number.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to it. We will help retweet and everything once you obviously do announce it, unveil it. But if you want to get more information, just going to be honest with you, we've got an Imperial Wharf channel in our Discord. Louis in there. We have a lot of questions about it. The highlights, are on YouTube that they do every single week. And we talk about it and we enjoy it. So if you're interested and when you get more information, I just highly encourage you to jump into the Discord and check out the Imperial Wharf channel. But Louis, thanks, man. We're excited that you let us, some foreign investors get involved in your club.
No, honestly, when you guys approached me, I didn't need to think about it. It's fantastic, and I really do appreciate the help. It was obviously in a time like this as well, when a lot of football clubs are struggling. We've seen Macclesfield go down in the leagues already. We've seen a lot of clubs say they're going to fold. It was I'm really grateful, and all the players are really grateful, and everyone's really grateful that you guys have decided to get involved. Especially my captain, by the way. He Josh, he loves the. When I asked where everyone's from in the Discord, and it's amazing that where everyone's from is watching us, by the way, as well. Put that in the chat, and he was straight on it. He's going, I love that. I want to be involved. I want to see it. This is fantastic. And all the lads really do appreciate everyone, helping. Even one view makes a difference for us. It's one where it can really help us there. And if you're UK based and you're London based, just if you follow me on Twitter and you follow obviously Imperial Wharf and all that stuff as well, we'll keep you up to date with all the fixtures and stuff as well. But yeah, it's honestly guys, I'm really grateful that you chose me to get involved, and it's been fantastic, and long may this partnership continue until Nick decides to kill me or something. He doesn't like me. I don't know.
Wow, that went dark. I was so happy, and you took it to a dark place.
I'll be honest. I was going to end on a really positive note, and now I don't know what to do.
That's it. I mean, I just worried. I think Nick's just sad because I've been bullying him for his moustache while we've been in the middle bits and stuff as well. That's why I'm worried he might hurt me. That's all.
You can't bully this gloriousness. Look at this thing. I'm ready to go, baby. Where are you guys at in the table? Final note as it stands today.
Currently, we're top of the league.
Oh, baby, let's go.
Top of the league. We're in the cup as well. We're top of the league in the cup because it's like a Champions League format.
Okay, but last question to get about here on. So Louis, what's your managerial style? Who's your comp?
Yeah.
Well, I like to think it's a nice mixture between Mourinho, because he's my idol, with a little bit of it's like a bit of flair in there. You've got some Italian in there as well, so a bit of Conte as well. I'm talking with the styling, but apparently I just look more like and behave more like a mixture of Sam Allardyce and Neil Warnock. So it's kind of there's no middle ground. So I'm there going, come on boys, we got this. But apparently it's like, get your heads in the game, get your nut on it. It's very Sunday league.
Just punch it long. That's your entire. Just route one. Just
we have a bloke who. So it's not Steve. Steve's made that very, very clear. He's like, okay, no, we're playing the ball on the floor. We're being nice. But there was a game when it got tasty in the game last week, which I'm gonna upload tomorrow. So I need to finish editing it. It did hit the point where our goalkeeper, who is also a Chelsea fan, who is a fantastic goalkeeper, and I know Brandon's already very keen on looking more into him. He's just started pumping it long, so just knocking the ball and just trying to do what we can.
Hold on, can we potentially, since Brandon is a part of the ownership group here, can we get Brandon to play the check role at some point?
I've already put Brandon on the squad list, ironically. I've already done it. I was going to save it until you guys asked. And I was hoping, obviously, we'd look down, lifted all that. Oh, when you guys come over, I was going to say, yeah, Brandon, you're on the squad list, mate. So that's just like already there.
No, you should have just handed him a schedule for training and the match.
Oh yeah, Brandon, I'll see you on Thursday, mate. All right.
All right.
Giving him a helmet.
Don't be late. All right, it's a £5 fine. None of that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, well, this is gonna be great. We're super excited. Like I said, just another way for us to immerse, learn, and have a connection on the ground. Like in live in England. So again, it's to Lee's point, we're not trying to say, hey, you got to have a second team now. It's just another way to learn and engage on a different way, because obviously. I think we hear a lot about how non-league football fans, especially right now, the connection with the club is different, and we have such a connection from a far distance that it's a fun thing. So thanks, Louis, for letting us in, and we'll continue to update everyone from here. But that's it. That's gonna wrap us up for our month in review. That's our Imperial Wharf update, and I think that about does it, gentlemen. So Dan and Nick, thank you. Louis, being an awesome guest. Listeners, you're the best part about it. When is this even going to go out? Because we got
Tuesday.
So we're going to go match review, this, and then you got the Ren match. So look, just nothing but content coming at you guys.
You
I think this is going to be another
stop.
We don't stop.
4-pod week, I think. So I hope you're enjoying it.
And we got Sheffield preview coming as well.
I know. So like I said, I think we're going to hit 4 this week. So hope you're enjoying it. But anyways, that's going to wrap us up. Like I said, thank you, Louis, for jumping on. It's always a fun time hanging out with you.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's always fun hanging out with you guys as well.
Good.
Not Nick, though.
Links in the description. All right, that's going to wrap us up, Chelsea fans. But you know what to do. Until next time, what the fuck?
You messed up again.
Oh my God.
Oh, the 500th episode.
That's your outro. Until next time, what the fuck?
Until next time, Chelsea fans, you know what to do. Keep the blue flag flying high.
I know, I got it. All right.
My God.
It's in my head. I got to get it out. So, all right. Anyways, that's going to wrap us up. Enjoy the Red match. But that's all from us. So until next time, Chelsea fans, you know what to do.